Let's give you the highlights here for the people that don't have time. So, Pete Buttigieg, FMCSA, Sue Lawless, everybody. Yep, they just stated today they're doing a nationwide crackdown on household goods, movers, and brokers, stating that a lot of these companies are putting people's goods from their trailers hostage and not allowing them to get their furniture until they pay more money. And so the FMCSA is going to knock on your door. You know, they did it in 2023 in New York, Nevada, Florida area, New Jersey, and they found thousands and thousands of violations. And they actually revoked FMCSA operating authority of a lot of trucking companies. So, hey, they're starting the crackdown, and they're going to start with the moving companies with the most complaints. So if you got a lot of complaints for your moving company, FMCSA, they're coming. They're coming to your company. They're coming. So let's get into today's video if you have time for it. I was a mover for 10 years, so I got a little experience in this. I'm not making excuses for movers. I'm just going to say there's a lot of miscommunication in this game. And so when it comes to why people's things are held hostage, man, I blame the miscommunication that some of these warehouse and office people have with the people, the customer, because the mover at most times, they just want to do their job and move the stuff, but they want to move it to what they're communicated for, and they want to move it to what they're worth and not what these people that sell the job say it is, which a lot of times they lie just to get the mover to get there. See, I'm getting too opinionated already. But Mutha Truckers, let's get into today's video. Anytime that any news affects thousands of truck drivers, Mutha Truckernews wants to talk about this. And so the FMCSA just announced that they are having a nationwide crackdown on fraudulent household good movers and brokers. And of course, I'm going to have my opinion on this one because my family worked for North American Van Lines. I was a mover for 10 years for North American Van Lines, and I'll be the first one to tell you there is a lot of stuff going on in the moving business, right? And so because of that, the FMCSA has announced today the launch of Operation Protect Your Move. So the agency's nationwide crackdown on scam interstate household goods, movers, and brokers. It says this enforcement initiative will address complaints about household good moving companies and broker compliance with federal safety and consumer protection regulations and statutes. Buttigieg says, quote unquote, Americans deserve a fair deal when they move into a new home, and we're cracking down on moving companies that hold people's possessions hostage, said U.S. Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg. Quote unquote, this initiative will build on last year's progress holding scammers accountable and is another example of the measures the Biden administration is taking to better protect consumers. What happened last year? Basically, they conducted a operation as well in the spring of 2023, and they focused again on household good moving companies and brokerages. And the focus was in Nevada, New York, New Jersey, and Florida, right? So in just those four areas in 2023, they found thousands of violations, they stated. And because of that, they said that they revoked a lot of moving companies, FMCSA's operating authorities, and they got a lot of violations. What's my opinion on this, right? As a mover for 10 years, I will state this. There is a lot of miscommunication, right? So the moving game is not like any other game out there. There's not really specifically a load board that you can just jump on. You usually are a owner operator, but you're leased on to an agent, you know, from Mayflower, United, to North American, to Allied, their sister company, you name it, you're working under them, and they find the loads for you. I can't tell you how many times they booked a load for me, and I just straight picked it up from a warehouse. I had no information about what the heck was going on besides picking up from a warehouse. Of course, I got to do my claim sheet. I got to make sure things are not, damaged. But besides that, you load it in the truck, you sign off the inventory, you sticker everything, and then you're on your way. right? All you know at times is that you got to pick up a cashier's check for $8,000 per se, right? And when you get there, they're like $8,000. The sales agent or whoever I talked to told me that it was only going to be $5,600. And then you being just this subcontractor at this point, right? And that's what you are pretty much. And you're going out there, you're like, I'm sorry, I can't open the doors until you give me exactly what the agent told me that I have to get. Because if you don't get that, then you owe that. Now, there's a lot of complications in this. And so there's a lot of communication error. And so a lot of times these sales guys, nothing happens to them. If they go there and they estimate a job that's supposed to be 10,000 pounds and say it's 20,000 or 5,000, whether it's over or under, nothing happens to them. But the mover, they get screwed. And who gets screwed at the end? The owner of the house, right? So they're definitely doing a crackdown. And I'm telling you this, they say they're kicking in high gear. So they're going to focus on moving companies that have had a lot of complaints. So FMCSA might be jumping and knocking at your door. You know, that's scary stuff, right? It's like the FBI, CIA knocking at your door. But yeah, they're doing a nationwide crackdown. You know, they're going to look at these operations and see if there's some truth in what's going on and if everybody's doing things and by the book, right? So it says here, spot the red flags when planning your move. Watch out for dishonest movers, also known as house of good carriers, and brokers, also known as house of good brokers. They typically work like this. It says, without ever visiting your home or seeing the goods you want moved, they give a low estimate over the telephone or online. Once your goods are on the moving truck, the movers demand more money before they will deliver or unload them, right? The movers hold your goods hostage and force you to pay more, sometimes much more than you agreed on, if you want your possessions back. So they're saying these are some of the red flags from the FMCSA. But overall, my truckers, comment down below. You know, if you're a mover, tell me if some of the stuff I'm saying makes some sense here. But yeah, it looks like the FMCSA nationwide, if you got a lot of complaints on your trucking moving company, the FMCSA is knocking on your door and they're going to look to make sure you're good to go. If not, they're going to give you some violations and they're going to put you, your company, out of authority. That's all I got to say. So my truckers, you know, be careful of this, but that's what's happening. So, you know, to the moving game, you know, I hope you guys are doing well. I love you guys. As much crap as I talk about the moving game, you know, it's the one that I'm addicted to. And if I ever go back into trucking, it's the one that I would do. So my truckers, comment down below.